Hello, greetings to all of you, those who are parishioners here at St. John Paul II Parish, and those who are also watching these reflections. We are not going to have Father Mike this week. I'll be giving the reflection, but I would like to first begin praying, especially for all those victims in this explosion in Beirut. Let's have them in our prayers, and also all those who are directly or indirectly affected still by this virus that is affecting the entire world. I would like to reflect this week, since we are having in August 6th, we're having the Feast of the Transfiguration of the Lord. And I like to think a bit about this event that happened, because I think it's important. It did happen right after Jesus began to announce his own suffering, that he was going to be apprehended, that he was going to be killed. And it's important to see that there was a clash. There was a clash about the disciples' expectations of what the Messiah was supposed to be like, and what Jesus just announced, that he was going to suffer and be killed. And probably that was a difficult time, and a difficult time for the disciples. Right after that is when we find this episode of the Transfiguration, where Jesus comes with the three disciples, and he goes to this mountain, and he gets transfigured. He appears white and bright, and then God the Father saying, "This is my Son, listen to him." And I think it's important, because for the disciples, which is all of us, but for the disciples at that time, it was a way of saying, yes, this is the Messiah. It's just God saying the Messiah that Jesus just announced, that is the Messiah that I want. I don't want a triumphant Messiah. I want a suffering Messiah. This is my Son. This is the one you have to be listening. Even if, again, has been, he said that he was going to suffer. So again, it was like a confirmation for the disciples, like, yeah, we are following the right guy. Even if he says that he's going to be killed, we are following the right guy. It's important, again, for all of us to recognize how important this episode was for them. It was a way of confirming that Jesus, the suffering servant, it was indeed the Messiah. And I think it's also important for all of us, because I think we should try to transform and to transfigure these realities of suffering that we encounter in our lives, whether our own suffering in our families, in our communities, at the parish, anywhere, all the reality of suffering, and recognize that God is there, and that we do have to transfigure this reality. We have to make it bright. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful to recognize that God is there, but at the same time, we do need to be part of this transfiguration. We have to make this transfiguration happen in our lives and around ourselves and around the people we are with. And I don't think it should be that difficult. I think it's a matter of recognizing where the suffering is, and then see, what can I do? How am I bringing transfiguration into this situation? And again, sometimes maybe helping others, give somebody a hand, sometimes maybe just listening, be with people, be with accompanying people in their difficult times in their lives. But I think we have to be aware that by doing so, we are being agents, if you will, of transfiguration. We are making transfiguration happen in our world, in a world that is certainly full of suffering, but it's also full of small or big transfigurations. So I just want to pray today for all of us, that we might believe that we may also have some role, that we are instruments on this transfiguration, so that the whole world can also become bright, can also become hopeful, and that we, even with these small examples or small actions in our lives, let's be convinced that God is there, that God also tells us, listen to him, he is my Son. God bless you all.